Okay, so number 3. In the 2014 UCF Knights scored 24, 10, 41, 17, 31, 20, 34, blah, 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 in their 13 games. So we know there's 13 games. That's going to help us out. Find the mean and the standard deviation of the data. And then we're going to do letter B in class. So you can write that down in class. That's where we start analyzing the data and look at what could happen without this thing, without that thing, you know. So we're just going to do A. We're going to find the mean and the standard deviation. So mean, we can find mean. That's really easy. That's x bar. All we have to do, and these don't even have to be in order. We just have to add up all the scores and divide by how many there are, which is 13. So let's add these up. So we're going to go 24 plus 10 plus 41 plus 17 plus 31 plus 20 plus 34 plus 29 plus 31 plus 53 plus 16 plus 32 plus 37, 375 divided by 13, because there's 13 values, divided by 13, 28.8. We'll just go 1 decimal place. So that is our mean. So that's really nice. 28.8 is our mean. Okay. So now we're going to fill in this table. This is what I was talking about earlier, where we're going to use a table. Okay. We're going to take each value. So they've already done this. This is really nice. They've already listed all the scores for us. So that's are the values that we're talking about. We're going to take each value and subtract the mean from it to get this number here. So if I were to do this first one, 24 minus the mean, that's going to give me negative 4.8. Okay, that's all you have to do is subtract the mean from this number. So if we go 10 minus 28.8 is negative 18.8. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time, and then the rest of them I'm just going to fill in. So 41 minus 28.8 is 12.2. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in the rest of these as if I'd already done them, which I have. This was negative 11.8. 2.2, negative 8.8, 5.2, 0.2, 2.2, 24.2, negative 12.8, 3.2, and 8.2. So that's all you have to do for this one is you subtract the mean from this number. I'll say it again and again and again. It's super, super easy. If you thought this part was easy, this part's even easier. All you have to do is take this number, plug it in the calculator, and square it. So let's do that. So let's go negative 4.8. Please make sure you use parentheses because you're not going to get a negative number here. These should all be positive numbers. Squared. 23.04. 23.04. Okay, so I'll do the next one to show you how to plug it in. Parentheses, negative 18.8 squared, 353.44. Okay, so that's how you do it. Again, I'll do it one more time, and then I'm just going to fill it in as if I've already done it. So 12.2 squared, 148.84. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. You're just going to keep plugging these in and squaring them. So this next one is 139.24, 4.84, 77.44. This is also exciting. 27.04, 0.04, 4.84, 585.64, 163.84, 10.24, and then finally 67.24. Okay, so those are all the numbers. So we would take these, plug them in our calculator, and square them. That's all you have to do. Okay, so on the side here, I'm going to write our standard deviation formula so that we can reference back to it. Sigma equals the square root of the sum of the differences squared divided by how many there are. So I'm going to show you how to get this number here. So we already have the x minus x bar squared. That's this number. To get this guy, the sum of all those, I just have to add all these up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down here. The sum of all of those differences squared. We're going to take all these, plug them in the calculator, add them up, and that's going to give us that. Okay? So this is another exciting part. 23.04 plus 353.44 plus 148.84 plus... I'm actually doing this so that you can see like how to do it, because I would rather you guys see the process rather than me just telling you, oh, here's the answer. Okay? I want you to see how this is done so that when you go to do it, you can do it yourself. I know it's not very exciting, but trust me, it's for your benefit. That way you're not like, Ms. Hand, how'd you get that number? 67.24. So our grand total is 1605.72. So again, I just added all of these up to get this number. And we're halfway there. We have the most complicated looking part of this whole thing. The sum of all the differences squared, which is this guy here. So if we know sigma equals the square root of the sum of the differences from the mean squared over how many there are, we already have this. So we're just going to plug it into our formula. So 1605.72 divided by our number of how many there are was 13. So we're going to divide that by 13 and take the square root. So I'll show you how to plug that in the calculator. So the square root, 1605.72 divided by 13, 11.11. We'll just go with 2 decimal places. That's our standard deviation. We did it. Okay, so it's really not that complicated. It's just takes a while. Okay, so on your test, I'm not going to give you more than like 15 data points because this took us a good 5-6 minutes. Okay, so don't worry, I'm not going to give you like 30 data points to do this. So this was 13, so I think we can handle this. Okay, so in class we'll go over, describe how the outlier affects the mean and the standard deviation. So first of all, the outlier is 53 because that's 24.2 points away from the median or from the mean. So they can tell right away that's the outlier. So I'm going to draw a little arrow to that. So in class we'll talk about how changing that affects the mean and the standard deviation of the data. Okay, so I think we have one more example left to do, and then we'll do the other 3 in class.